This is our analysis of example 2.29. This is a work by Beethoven, the first 8 measures. We are in the key of G major. Off to the side, I am going to write a G major scale such that the case of the letter will represent whether the chord that pitch is the root of is major or minor. So G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D, that's the D7 most often. E minor is our 6, F sharp diminished is the leading tone triad, and that would take us back to a G major. The first question is about the repetition of the basic idea. Is it exact, meaning that the harmonic identity of the second basic idea, is it the same as the first? Is it statement response, such that the first basic idea is in tonic and the second basic idea is in the dominant? Or is it a sequential repetition, which would usually mean that the basic idea tonic, and usually if it's sequential repetition, the second statement of the basic idea would be on 2. Okay, so we need to analyze the harmonies. 1 chord, implied enough. F sharp, C, and A. This is our 7 diminished, not in first inversion. Not to worry about that. Back to tonic. And the rest of the measure articulates a descending tonic arpeggio. So this is a tonic prolongation. This is the basic idea. This is the head motive. Measure 2, really starting with the descending arpeggio, is the tail motive. Together those form the basic idea, and this is the tonic version. Measures 3 and 4 are the dominant version. Head motive, tail motive. The tail motive is not an arpeggio, but it still descends. The analysis of these measures. Well, we know that on measure 4 we arrive on 5. And really, this is all about linear motion above scale degree 5. There's the D, a pedal D, and in the tenor, A, G, F sharp, and in the right hand, C, B, ornamented, A. So this is all about, it's not really even about 5, 7, but 5, the 7th, descends to 6, descends to 5, that should be over there. The 5th above descended to be a 4th above to arrive on the 3rd above. So this is all about the dominant with some descending linear motion above it. So this again, head motive, tail motive, second statement of the basic idea, and this is a statement response relationship because the statement is in the tonic and the response is in the dominant. So 4 measures presentation. Now we have continuation. Bum, ba-da-ba-dum. Well, that's exactly from measure 1. Dum, da-da-da-dum. This is a sequence, or at least in the right-hand melodic motivic material, there's a 1 measure fragment that returns in the next measure, 5 and 6. It's not a harmonic sequence because we start with 1. The F natural indicates the secondary dominant to a 4, but that 4 is actually in root position, that 4 is actually in 6/4 inversion because G has remained as a tonic pedal and remains as a tonic pedal there. Even though at the very end we get a suggestion of a 2 chord with the A, C, and E. Looking at the beginning of this continuation, 1 measure fragment in measure 5, repeated in measure 6. increased rhythmic activity in the left hand. You can also argue for accelerated harmonic rhythm, in that back at the beginning of the basic idea, the harmonic rhythm was by half notes initially, and then a whole measure with one harmony. Half notes, whole measure. And right away, yes, we still have the half note, fragment, fragment. And this was the beginning of the continuation. The cadential unit is 2 measures. Arriving on tonic. Yes, above it, instead of this being directly a G, there's the A and it's suspended. So there's this ornamented cadential arrival with a 9/8 suspension. Beginning of measure 7, B, D, and G. There's a 1/6 on beat 2, C, C, and E. Well, that could be part of A, C, E. It could be part of a 2 chord. It could be part of C, E, G. So we don't know exactly what it is. We can make some good educated guesses, but we'll just put P for predominant. Beats 3 and 4. This is a 5 chord. 5 is in the bass. Very common octave register transfer in the left hand. Initially, there's a B and a D, so a 6 and an 8. The D, the octave above the bass, steps down into the 7th. The 6th above steps down to the 5th. What's missing? The 4/3 that would be providing the 3rd of the chord. And then the ornamented arrival on 1. This progression is tonic, predominant, ornamented, dominant, going back to the tonic. So this particular cadential progression, it is complete because it's the complete cycle of harmonic function: tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. It is ornamented, not only because we have a cadential 6/4, but also because of the 9/8 suspension, and it's a perfect authentic cadence.